Today, I want to talk about how Gary Gensler is finally going to be fired. I want to explain why this is good for retail investors and how it could remove stock manipulation, freeing up AMC and GameStop so they could squeeze. I also want to talk about how short sellers or dumb money has lost billions of dollars so far this year trying to short AMC. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I'll dive straight in with the key information. So, Chairman Patrick McHenry tweeted saying for 2 years, Democrats gave Gary Gensler a pass for his disastrous agenda. He said it's time for accountability. He said from his destructive climate disclosure rules to his regulation by enforcement of digital assets, Chair Gensler's agenda has weakened capital markets and stifled innovation. Now, you've probably already seen this video of Chairman Patrick McHenry absolutely grilling Gary Gensler on whether Ethereum is a security or a commodity. As you've probably already seen it, I don't want to play the entire interview, so I'll skip forward to talk about how new legislation has just been introduced to fire Gary Gensler. This article says that a congressman has just introduced new legislation to actually fire Gary Gensler once and for all. It says Congressman Warren Davidson says he's introducing legislation that aims to fire SEC Chairman Gary Gensler. And he said the SEC chairman will be replaced by an executive director role and former chairs of the SEC will also be ineligible. It says Chairman Gary Gensler has been under fire by retail investors ever since he joined the commission back in 2021. For example, dark pool trading has risen under Gensler's watch, leaving the average investor vulnerable in today's market. In 2022, retail investors petitioned to fire the SEC chairman due to the SEC's failure to enforce regulation that would level the playing field between retail investors and institutional investors. The retail community has argued that hedge funds and market makers have too much power and take advantage of investors through payment for order flow, dark pool trading, and suppress the market through illegal naked short selling. But now Warren Davidson has tweeted saying to correct a long series of abuses, I'm introducing legislation that removes the chairman of the SEC and replaces the role with an executive director that reports to the board. Now, it has been rumoured that if Gary Gensler is removed, the person that would likely replace Gary Gensler in that executive chairman role would be none other than Hester Pierce. Now, obviously, we know that Hester Pierce is 1000% worse than Gary Gensler and is literally funded directly from the back pocket of Ken Griffin. It says that Hester is known for having ties with a lobbyist group of anti-regulators and for voting against the Short Sale Transparency Act back in 2021. Hester Pierce also completely dodged, skipped and jumped through all of Charles Payne's questions yesterday or the other day on MMTLP. And therefore it's likely that if Gary Gensler goes, Hester Pierce absolutely has to go as well. Now, the reason why the removal of Gary Gensler is important is because with a proper SEC chairman or an SEC executive director, we could actually have more regulation passed through that actually protects retail investors. Dark pool trading could potentially be removed, payment for order flow could also potentially be removed, and proper enforcement for naked short selling regulations could also be approved as well. And that ultimately would remove the grounds for stock manipulation, which we know is so ripe in stocks like AMC, GameStop, and many others. Now, I want to talk about this post from Wall Street Apes, which I half agree with but half disagree with. Guys, be sure to sign up to Moomoo, the sponsor of today's video, using the link in the description below. You can currently receive up to 15 free shares, entirely commission-free trading, free level 2 market data, and most importantly of all, Moomoo is very easy to use, it's very clear and concise, they've got tons of technical indicators and advanced charting tools. And with Moomoo, you've also got entirely free 24/7 customer support, and you could also trade around the clock with the full extended trading hours. He says, how come nothing is ever done about the manipulation? He said it's reported on national mainstream media that Ken Griffin is robbing the world blind with market manipulation, but nothing ever happens. Now, obviously, the reason why Citadel and Ken Griffin have not been charged for robbing the world blind with market manipulation is because Gary Gensler heads up the SEC. Now, Wall Street Apes has said maybe by approving the reverse split, something will change that market manipulation, obviously with a clown face suggesting lots of sarcasm. Now, obviously, I don't think that approving that reverse split removes market manipulation, but at the same time, I think not approving the reverse split also doesn't remove that manipulation as well. We know that without the reverse split, AMC will still be manipulated and the price will still be pushed down, likely below $1 per share, where it could be removed from the stock exchange and where short sellers would win. But with the reverse split, while market manipulation is likely still to happen, at least AMC wouldn't be falling below $1 per share and wouldn't be removed from the stock market. Obviously, the real fight we have is against Ken Griffin and Citadel Securities and all of the other hedge funds and market makers that manipulate the market on a day-by-day basis. We know for an absolute fact that not approving the reverse split will not impact market manipulation, and manipulation will continue without the reverse split. But at the same time, the reverse split itself is a potential catalyst. It's not 100% guaranteed to remove market manipulation, but it's also not 100% guaranteed that nothing will actually happen. It's literally a 50-50 on whether something changes or not. I've spoken time and time again about how the reverse split does not damage AMC as a company or does not impact the chances of a squeeze. If anything, it makes the chances of a squeeze better because at least AMC wouldn't be delisted. But that is ultimately why the removal of Gary Gensler is important or is crucial to the removal of market manipulation. And Biggums has tweeted this article that says AMC Entertainment was the most expensive stock to short in the first quarter. And short sellers paid a total of $1.9 billion in stock borrow fees in the first quarter alone. Now, you also have to remember the price of AMC is up 30% in that time, so short sellers have lost something like another $300 million or $400 million on top of that in actual unrealized losses. So they've got $400 million of unrealized losses and $2 billion of stock borrow fees just on their own, just in that first quarter. And as Biggums has said, the AMC market cap is only $2.6 billion, and short sellers spent almost $2 billion in the first quarter of this year trying to borrow the shares to hold the stock price down. The short sellers have literally spent the entire float in borrow fees in just the first quarter of this year alone, but somehow we're the dumb money. As I said at the start of this video, clearly it's these short sellers that are indeed the dumb money, spending 100% of their total short position in one quarter alone just to continue holding the stock down. Because we know without these shorts trying to hold the price down and without that market manipulation, the price of AMC would rocket from its current position over $100 per share, over $500, likely over $1,000 per share as well. And that's why Reuters has said that Credit Suisse or credit squeeze is the biggest threat to the current economic outlook. It seems that Reuters is meant to be talking about Credit Suisse, but clearly has something else on their mind, as they said that credit squeeze is the biggest threat to the economic outlook, with obviously this photo of Credit Suisse. Clearly Reuters have nothing else on their mind but the squeeze. And that's likely because AMC has now just spent its 5th day on the threshold securities list. I'm excited to see how these failed to delivers or FTDs in AMC continue to rack up over the next few weeks and how the short borrowing fee continues to spiral out of control. Ultimately, I think it's so important that Gary Gensler is removed from the SEC or SEC chairman role, and also that Hester Pierce doesn't receive that chairman role or executive director role either. I think we need somebody completely new to overhaul the SEC and effectively remove this market manipulation. But guys, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always guys, be sure to ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.